At the beginning of the COVID pandemic, we started really thinking about which communities we could serve and support in different ways. And so one of the things that we started doing is providing concerts at senior centers, thinking of the elderly community and how isolated they were. And another area that we wanted to target was early childhood music education. I grew up here, and a lot of the musicians in Camerata grew up here, and I found that, I was lucky enough to have the resources as a kid to have private lessons, but for the vast majority of kids, that's not the case. And so what happens is that they get to 6th grade, and they're able to start playing in orchestra, and they have a great experience. But for those that decide they want to pursue it professionally, then they're up against people who are taking lessons from age 5 or 6, and it puts them at quite a big disadvantage. And so what we wanted to do was find a way to provide really high-level music education to kids starting in 3rd grade. So we started a program at University Hills Elementary School, and our main funder for that is 21st Century Out-of-School Time Programs, which is operated through NMSU. They fund all different kinds of after-school programs throughout Las Cruces, but they didn't have any that were focused on classical music education. So we partnered with them, and we started the program at University Hills. We've been running that program for about a year now, and we had 20 kids enroll in our class, and for the first semester, they were just playing on buckets, and we were teaching them rhythms and ensemble skills, listening skills, what's it like to play a rhythm that's different than the person next to you, and how do they fit together, things like that.
The program has been a blast. It was quite a challenge at first, always working with, rambunctious elementary school kids. But it's been very rewarding to see them grow and really come to love their instruments. When the kids got their instruments, you could really see the joy in their eyes because they thought they were going to get the instruments right away. But when they found out that they were going to be on buckets for an entire semester, they were a little bit argumentative, that they really thought that they were going to have their instruments, but, once they did get them, you could see that the wait was worth it.
Estamos tan orgullosos de nuestros estudiantes que empezaron algo tan difícil y lo están haciendo muy bien y se están divirtiendo y esperemos que los veamos el próximo año también.
They sound so amazing. They've only been working for a few months with their bows and with their instruments, and they've made so much progress. These are very, very difficult instruments, but they've worked hard, and we really hope that everybody will take the class next year as well. So I just really quickly before we get started wanted to introduce our newest teacher, Miss Elizabeth Green, over here.
My first semester teaching at Uni Hills was probably one of my favorite teaching experiences I've had thus far. The kids were adorable, really intelligent, and very excited to learn about not just music, but the string instruments that we were teaching them. It was a pleasure to work with them. They were so much fun, and we as the teachers had a lot of fun working with them, and I think the students had just as much fun working with us, so I wouldn't change a thing. I think that especially in terms of music education, in the sense that they will go on to become musicians, starting them early is vital to get them going with the correct technique and the correct ear training to give them the best chance at success if they decide to go on into music later in life. And even if they decide they want nothing to do with music, introducing concepts like ear training and the kinesthetics of playing an instrument at a young age are objectively such a healthy thing for them to do, and it can only help them in life.
After the kids finish the program, when they go on into 6th grade, they will be joining their public school orchestra programs, and at that point, the way that we'll stay connected with them is by providing them with private lessons and subsidizing those lessons according to need, all the way through high school. And then eventually, the kids that are in high school will sometimes be the teachers for the younger kids once they feel like they're well trained. And then in addition to that, we have high schoolers that we will be working with as young fellows. So they'll be coming into our programs, teaching the younger kids, and even performing in some of our concerts if they feel ready. And then, some of these kids will decide to go into music, some of them won't. If they don't, then we've hopefully given them a lot of skills that can be useful in other fields, like discipline, leadership skills, teamwork skills, communication. And then if they do decide to go into music, and especially if they go here at NMSU, we'll continue to provide them with paid performance opportunities, paid teaching opportunities, and even some administrative things if that's in their field of interest.
Well, with Maddox, he's such a bright student and really is a hard worker, and you can really tell by his playing that he really cares about music and really understands it. Us including him in the Camerata Bach recital, for the viola recital, was kind of a coincidence because we had just started working on the first Bach suite, and he was sounding so well on the first few movements that we were working on, so I thought it would be a great idea to include him in the program.
These concerts have definitely helped me have a new perspective on performing, and it's very useful for college auditions. So that's why I'm so glad that I did it. It'll be very useful for the future. So I'm glad that I get to share the great things about music with people.
None of these ideas and projects would be possible without your support, so if you would like to join this movement for classical music in our city, please visit cameratadelsol.org, scroll to the bottom of the homepage where you will find a donate button. Thank you so much.